We get asked the question a lot about CDD fees,
We
especially
do.
especially when people are coming from up north. They have no idea what a CDD fee is. So I thought we'd take a few minutes and just talk a little bit about what they are,
Okay.
and then a little bit maybe where they're common, where they're not common, and so on. So
Perfect.
all right. So hi everybody. We're a CDD fee. What is a CDD? CDD stands for Community Development District, and it's a unit of government that is formed as part of the Florida statutes. And when a developer is going to start a new community, they have a lot of upfront expenses. They got to bring in roads, they got to bring in electricity, water, sewer, common buildings, sidewalks, whatever, the street lights. And that's a big expense for them to incur up front. They normally take out a loan, have to pay interest on it, and so on. If they form what's called a community development district, they are allowed to take out a zero interest bond, which can be for, say, a period of 30 years. So the community development district is actually a board of 5 members. There's a chairman, and then they appoint or hire a manager, and it's that board's job to manage initially the construction of the infrastructure, and then later, as the community matures and home buyers come in and purchase properties, to manage that infrastructure going forward. So like roads and so on. And in the beginning, the landowners are the ones that appoint and vote for the CDD board, but as the property fills up, then that is transferred to the homeowner. So as a homeowner in a community that has a CDD, you have some input into how your infrastructure is managed. And that kind of brings us to the advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is, number one, theoretically anyway, the builder can keep the initial cost of the homes lower, right? Right?
Yeah.
And then going forward, the community has some control over what is done with the roads and so on. I can think of an example. There's a community, I won't mention the name, but their HOA rules said that you can't park RVs or work trucks and so on the streets.
Right.
But someone took them to court.
Right.
And they challenged it. And it turns out that because the streets were not owned by the HOA, they were not private roads, that the county laws took precedent, and they lost. The HOA lost. So, I mean, that's just one thing. The disadvantage of it is obviously it's an extra fee. It's what's called a non-ad valorem fee. When you look at the taxes for a property, you'll see the ad valorem taxes. That means it's based on the value of the property, and that's basically the property tax, right?
Right.
But you may see a couple of others that are non-ad valorem, and the CDD is one of those.
Right.
What that means, it's not based on the value of the property. What it also means is it's not deductible on your federal income tax like your regular property taxes. Right. So that's kind of the disadvantage.
So it shows up on your property tax bill.
Yeah. And that's a really good point, because when you're going to an open house or you're looking at a house online, you'll see the taxes for that house.
Yeah.
Probably the CDD is rolled up in that number.
Exactly.
But it all depends on how the realtor put the data into the MLS.
Right.
We always put it in so that it's one number, so there's no question about what the total spend is for the buyer, but it's possible that somebody might not. So you need to check.
So as a consumer, that's something you'll want to ask the realtor.
Right.
Is the CDD rolled into that tax bill that you put on the printout sheet for your open house, whatever?
Yeah.
So you just want to know for sure that it's all inclusive and that there's not an additional cost to you.
Hey, this is my Atlantis cup.
Yes, I noticed.
I got that from the Kennedy Space Center. If you guys haven't been there, you really need to go. It's really awesome. All right, sorry. All right, so is this something that like every community in Sarasota has?
No, it's actually rare in Sarasota. But in Lakewood Ranch, it's very common. So most of the communities in Lakewood Ranch presently have CDD fees.
Okay.
And most of the communities in Sarasota do not.
All right.
So that's a very distinct difference in buying in Lakewood Ranch and Sarasota. Of course, there's reasons why you'd want to buy in either town. So it's not all down to the CDD fee.
Right.
Yeah.
Lakewood Ranch is pretty awesome.
Yeah, right. It's a wonderful place, as well as is Sarasota. So, yeah.
So does every community in Lakewood Ranch have a CDD fee?
No, actually, not every community does have a CDD fee. And in fact, we just listed a house and sold it in a day in a community called River Club, and they do not have a CDD fee.
And they're right up the road from the town center, right?
They are right up the road from Main Street, where all things are happening in Lakewood Ranch. So it's a very desirable community, and you don't have that extra bill on your tax bill when you live there.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right. The house is under contract, right?
It is. It went under contract actually in one day.
Wow.
So it is a very desirable community.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. If you guys have more questions,
Yeah.
I'll put a link in the description of the video. Just click on that link and you can contact us to get more info. I also have an ebook that kind of talks about this, so I'll put a link to that as well. And yeah, thanks, Vic.
Yep.
You guys have a great day. Bye.